So, hi Laguna Woods, this is State Senator Tom Umberg, and I'm a candidate for the Board of Equalization, District 4, which includes our area. What do I like best about running for office? What I like best is meeting people. I like hearing what people care about, what people think about, and I even like hearing their complaints because it makes me aware of what kind of a job I need to do. My job is to improve the quality of life of the folks I represent, and hearing from them oftentimes inspires me to do better. What do I like least? What I don't like is I don't like having to raise money. That's a sad reality of the system that we now have, and that can be both difficult and challenging. My family, what does my family like best and what does my family like least? Well, I've been in office for 36 years. I was first elected in 1990 when my children were 7, 4, and 2 years old till today when I'm a grandfather with 8 grandchildren. So that's changed over time in terms of what my family's like best and like least. Let me start with what they like best. I think of late what they like best is they like having an ear that has at least some authority and some responsibility in terms of the public good. So they like pointing out to me where government has gone wrong or where government services are lacking, and so I think that's what they like best. In terms of what they like least, I think they like least the travel, especially the travel away that our kids now and our grandkids live in the Bay Area. The fact that my wife and I then spend time apart. I think that they like that the least. So what are the most important issues I hope to address on the Board of Equalization? Well, there's several. Some think it's an obscure job. It's a unique job, but a very, very important job. Because it has responsibility to collect and oversee the collection of property tax revenue and oversee the taxation of utilities and railroads. Billions and billions of dollars are collected, and they should be fairly collected. The Board of Equalization's job is to make sure that it's collected fairly both for the big entities, the large corporations, as well as the homeowners. And so my job is to ensure fairness among all the county assessors as to how they collect taxes. Now, there's a challenge, and the challenge is with county assessors. It's one of the unique jobs in California, maybe the United States, where one assessor can basically assess your property and may do so subject to political influence, for example, contributions, and thus a number of tax assessors or those who work for tax assessors have gone to prison over the last bunch of years. And so my job is to take a very close look to make sure that county assessors, the tax assessors, are doing things fairly, are making sure that there's no relationship between campaign contributions and how property gets assessed. And so that's what I'll be doing. Our schools, our hospitals, our first responders are all funded by tax revenue. And so I have to make sure that we do it in a way that is appropriate both the big cats as well as you and I. So what changes do I think are necessary in our political system to make it work more effectively for the average Californian? Well, a couple things. One is a change in attitude that while we may disagree with one another, we need not be disagreeable. And I actually pride myself in the California State Senate of having cordial relationships with all my colleagues, irrespective of their party, and actually working together with lots and lots of our Republican colleagues to accomplish things together, and never, ever, ever engaging in personal invective. And I think that the Senate's done a pretty good job of getting along with one another. Maybe it's because we're so small. There's only 40 of us and we spend a lot of time together. We know each other's children and grandchildren. It's not like the House of Representatives. So making sure that we treat one another civilly and cordially and respectfully. There's a couple other systemic, structural changes. One is that money has too great an influence in politics. And any politician that says otherwise, I don't think they're being forthright. I've been around this profession for a very, very long time, and that's why I've introduced a bill to, actually it's not a bill, it's an initiative that will be on the ballot, you can vote for in November, that removes the ban on public financing. What does that mean? 20 years ago or so, California basically forbid general law cities from enacting any kind of a structure where there could be a portion of it that would be funded by the public. What that means is that means that someone who doesn't have either a great deal of personal wealth or access to wealth can run for office. They can start off, they can start off as an average Californian, and because of the way a system might be devised, is that they actually could both run and win office and not be indebted to, any third party and any special interest, and not be required to be millionaires themselves. So this November, look for the ballot initiative. You'll see my signature that removes the ban on public financing. It doesn't mandate it. It means that if, for example, Laguna Woods wants to enact a system of public financing, they can. They don't have to. If some other city doesn't want to do it, that's perfectly fine. But if a local population wants to enact something like exists in some other cities, charter cities in California, they can do so. And so changing the way we fund politics, that's a structural change that needs to happen. What sets me apart from other candidates? I think my background and experience. I'm the only candidate in the race that's actually investigated and prosecuted folks for public corruption. I've been a federal prosecutor. I've been a prosecutor in the military. And I have spent a good time in my legislative career focused on public corruption. And as I mentioned earlier in this interview, that one of the areas of great concern is the relationship between assessors and campaign contributions and how property gets assessed. And so being the only person with that kind of experience, that investigative experience, I will bring that to bear as a member of the Board of Equalization. In addition, I have both when I worked in the White House and was responsible for coordinating a $17 billion budget, and as a commander of Army units and as a legislator, I've had a broad range of responsibilities and had an opportunity to both lead and get things done through compromise and consensus. And I think those unique skill sets and that unique experience sets me apart from other candidates in the race.